When Dr. Calloway asked me to speak to you this evening, I was overwhelmed and deeply touched. My eyes instantly pricked with tears, and I was once transported back in time, back to the 1970s, when I was growing up a serious and curious kid from Overland Park, soon to graduate from Shawnee Mission North. I catapulted back into a time warp. And tonight I realized that the tears that I had realized were much, much more than being asked to be your commencement speaker this evening. With the support and encouragement of my mom and dad, I came to Johnson County Community College in 1975 when it was just in its infant stage. A huge open field in rural Johnson County, accessible only by gravel roads. I drove my old Chevy. I called it the Bruiser. I listened to the Doobie Brothers, my heart pounding on my way to class. I had no idea what I wanted to do or study or even become, and I was always a little scared because, you see, I didn't think I was ready for college. I wasn't really college material, and I certainly didn't think I was ready for the university big leagues. As some of you might relate, I was uncertain about what I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't believe that I was ready to compete in the university big leagues. Looking back, I realize now that Johnson County Community College offered me a safe place to test my capacity and to pursue my own unique possibilities. My perspective was formed by my family and 3 siblings who had spirited political conversations every night around the dinner table. These discussions influenced my values and dreams because, you see, it was the culture of the 1970s, the Vietnam War, Watergate, and the Kent State shootings. These were the things I continuously pondered. Your world has been one of 9/11, global warming, finding a job, and Facebook. I found myself in Professor Krebs' classroom. I even remember the name of the course. It was called Comparative Cultures. The tattered textbook with all my scribbles and highlights still lives in one of my bookshelves at home, one of only 2 textbooks I kept from my college career. Inside those pages, the world of history and art and ancient philosophies unfolded as if a carpet were spread before my feet. He inspired my curiosity and imagination about ancient Greece, Rome, and ancient philosophies. One day after class, he pulled me aside and he said, "I think you ought to pursue a degree in journalism." In moments, seeds were planted and a vision developed. I understood I had an opportunity to become something bigger than myself, to make a difference in creating a better world. I was inspired by how art and culture and the past gave me a vivid picture and also a hope and dream to affect the future. I found new confidence in myself to write and communicate my ideas. How many students did Professor Krebs encourage and inspire to think beyond themselves and dream of a world of possibilities? For me, it marked a significant turning point and the beginning of my future. This world of possibilities influences me every day as a Kansas senator, to be part of something bigger than myself, to be an active contributor to improving people's lives. That's why I was so moved when I was asked to be your commencement speaker. Professor Krebs, I know you're in the audience. I got a look at you when you were walking by. I haven't had this opportunity in these many years to thank you. Would you please stand and let me show you my appreciation, Professor Krebs. Apple founder and CEO Steve Jobs once stated, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect you to your future." I would have never served in the Kansas Senate if I hadn't had a family that had spirited political conversations around the dinner table every night, if I hadn't gone to this college, if I hadn't sat in Fred Krebs' class, if I hadn't studied journalism, political science, art history at KU, if I hadn't had my perspective changed, and if I hadn't become exposed to a greater purpose. These are my connecting dots. The founders of Johnson County Community College, Wilbur Billington, George Langworthy, Virginia Krebs, and many others, envisioned the possibilities of a community college that would ultimately become one of the premier colleges in the nation. The humble beginnings of our college began in 1963, where classes were held in scattered buildings around Johnson County, and in particular, the one I remember, a small brick building on Merriam Drive. The entire community rallied behind the vision of a community college that would be funded with a bond issue that would create the now 200-acre campus we know as Johnson County Community College, the jewel of Johnson County. These leaders had a vision and understanding of the connection between a community college to serve students like you and like me, and the unknown possibilities for their lives, as well as the unknown possibilities for Johnson County. The creation of our college was much more than any one of these founders could have imagined. In their collective imagination, they had transformed our community and thousands of lives. They became bigger than themselves. Tonight, your dots are connected with these founders. Your decision to enroll and pursue your degree is a continuation of their collective purpose. I've imagined you have experienced your own turning points in the way you view things and a better understanding of your own purpose. Your view of the world has expanded. And I imagine you're beginning to see your limitless possibilities. And now you get a chance to connect the dots to your future. Like these visionary founders, your journey will include uncertainty and taking risks. Yet to realize your possibilities, you can't play it safe. You know, the conductor of the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra once said, "I know full well that every time I step onto the podium, I take a risk that things won't turn out exactly as I had anticipated. But then there is not great music without taking risks." I've certainly taken many risks in realizing my dreams. When I run for re-election, when my name appears on the ballot, when I introduce a bill in the Senate, or when I debate on the Senate floor. I take risks. In fact, tonight, I'm taking a risk that somehow my words and stories might in some way influence your limitless possibilities. My hope for you is that the time you took at this college will be a significant turning point in your lives and your careers, and that years from now, you will look back, like I have, and recognize how your possibilities have been realized. That you'll point to an instructor or a class that opened your mind and redefined your purpose in this world. I never thought I would ever have the honor of serving in the Kansas Senate, but the foundation and inspiration I experienced at this college replays itself every day in everything I do. Learning, expanding my perspective, and imagining the limitless possibilities of making life better for all Kansans. So, the tears that pricked my eyes when asked to speak to you tonight were tears of gratefulness and the joy of seeing the connecting dots. My hope is that each of you will recognize the significance of your experience here, no matter where it leads you, and fully embrace the role it played in your lives, that it was one of the connecting dots to your future and your personal journey. I pray that your life will be laced with possibilities of doing and becoming something much, much bigger than yourselves. Looking back, I realize this evening is another connecting dot, not only for me, but for you and your future possibilities. May they be great. Thank you. God bless.